Well, good afternoon. How are you doing? It's me again. We're having another craft together. How lovely is that? I am really enjoying these shows. It's just an hour. It's me, it's you, and we're just going to do a nice bit of crafting. I thought I'd do things a little bit differently today. So we are fully interactive. We've got Rachel on social. So if you are on Facebook or you're just coming onto Facebook or YouTube, send me in a message, say hi. I'd love to hear from you, see who's out there, and also ask any questions that you want to know as well. So it'd be nice to know who's joining us today and who's going to be with us. And obviously we can get really up close and personal. It means you can ask whatever questions you want, and we can just have this relaxing time. But the reason I'm doing it a little bit differently is because it's craft together and we've got the amazing Graceful Plumes on. I thought it'd be really good to do an almost like craft along together. So you don't have to get your bits together now, but it means that you can either purchase the plumes, should I say? I keep calling it plumes, don't I? Graceful Plumes. Or you might already have it and then you can watch back at another time. So I thought I'd do a sort of project from start to finish and show you how I do my take on it. So I thought it'd be nice just to do that. So to start off with, we've already got a few of you in. So Love to Create is in, saying hello to Debbie, the team, and all. Hope you're all having a great day. Yeah, I've got Sam in my ear, so he's going to keep me straight, saying hello. And it's just me. So me and Sam in the studio today. I could hear Sarah next door, so I think you've had quite a busy day with those deals already. So the deals are amazing, and they'll be carrying on throughout the day today as well. We've also got Craig's in, and he's saying hi from Gold. Put my glasses on, can't even see that. It's Gold Canyon. Couldn't think what that was. Gold Canyon, Arizona. Put my glasses on. I might as well just leave them on. At least I can see what I'm doing then. In with us today as well. So hopefully you'll sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the hour, because it's going to be a fun show. Right, Graceful Plumes. I mean, if ever there was a beautiful, bold collection, this is definitely the collection. And if you love peacocks, like most people do, isn't it funny when you go anywhere, you sort of find, if there's a peacock in the garden, you might go out to an outdoor pub and sit in the garden, or you might just be in the zoo and a peacock just glides past, maybe opens its plumes. It's always so exhilarating, isn't it? It's just the most incredible bird ever. So to do a collection that's absolutely beautiful and stunning every single way, including the papers, which I will show you, I think makes such a big difference. So let's have a look at the boards to start with and show you exactly what you are getting in this collection. Do we have an L for this at all, Sam, so we can put up the... oh, we don't do L's on this show, so we don't even put it up. So we're literally just showing the peacocks. I'm going to show you everything that's in this collection, and you can head to the website to get that. So this is the peacock die, absolutely beautiful. You've got your matte and layering die with all that detail, and then your matte underneath. So you've got two dies in that one. We've also got the one where you can colour it in yourself, which is absolutely beautiful, and I love that one. We've also got the three dies. Now these are 3 creator card dies, so you can cut all of them out in one big die, and you've got the individual ones as well, so you can actually just cut them together or apart. They're creator cards, so they cut in and cut out. We've also got that amazing feather. So this one's called the Lucky Feather, so absolutely beautiful design. This is the one we're going to be using in the hour, which is the Peacock Quill, and that one is the most amazing creator card die. It's just absolutely stunning, and we're going to be using our ink pads with that one. We've also got a beautiful set of stamps. Now, I would say to anyone, if you don't want to go for this collection, go for these stamps, because I think these stamps are just going to go throughout the whole year, just because it's got that beautiful birthday wishes on there. You've also got May All Your Wishes Come True. You've got It's Your Birthday. These are the most sent birthday cards that we are, most sent makes that we do, and most sent cards that we do are birthday cards. So the fact that you've got your happy birthday in 2 different fonts is a great one to have. But I also love that we're doing that play on words structural stuff. I love that. So really good if someone's getting a new job. Thank you for being a wonderful friend. I mean, that's a beautiful sentiment to put onto anything. You've got got your beauty and elegance and proud as a peacock, which is brilliant. And actually, the proud as a peacock and the peacock die would work really well if you was going to use it with the, what was the collection? The Good Times, Celebrate the Good Times collection. That would work really well in there. So they're all your elements that you've got in that collection. But on top of that, we've got the paper pads. So I'm going to show you those as well. So this is this one. I'm going to show it overhead actually, so you can see. Sorry, Sam. I think it'd be easier to show it on the top, so I can just show you how beautiful these papers are. So really gorgeous colours. You've got real pops of pink and blues and turquoises and orange. It's just the most magnificent paper pad. Now this one is shrunk down because it's got your 6x6, and even the backs of these papers are absolutely stunning. So just flicking through these, absolutely lovely. Then you've got your linen cardstock that's going to match all your papers as well. I'm going to show you those in their true form in a second. I'm just going to bring in the biggest paper pad. So we've also got your 12x12. So the 12x12, you've got the most amazing papers, and I'm just going to bring in all the colours here. So you can see all these colours are going to work beautifully. No matter what page you put them down on, these colours are just going to work absolutely beautifully. Look at that. I mean, they're absolutely stunning. You will love crafting with these papers. And if you don't want the actual birds on them, you would just use the backs of the papers. So these ones here, you can see really gorgeous designs. And I love the fact that you've got this sort of ombre effect running through them. So a really, really clever design. And as with all our paper pads, we have Faye in the office. We call her Paper Pad. She designs them all for us, and she makes sure that we make sure that there is 4 different bits of the paper that you can cut into. And what I mean by that, if I take any design, flick into this one, if I was to halve this and halve it again, so you've got 4 6x6 pages, you've got something in every corner. And she does that so you've got something to see every time. So this one you've got here, you've got something in every single corner. So I think that's really clever what we do with the paper pads. Right, shall we get crafting? Let's just see if there's anyone else in with us today. We've got PB Brewers in today. Hi PB Brewer Martin. She's saying hi to all again. Debbie, you look so beautiful, and thank you, Sam. There you go. He's saying thank you, PB Brewer. Sam's saying. Christine Mahoney's in. Mahoney is in, saying hello everyone. Hi Debbie, you look beautiful. Thank you. I don't know what I've done different. Maybe yellow's my colour. I've got lemon on today because and if I do get a little bit you know, it's warm in the studio today. It's really warm. I've just spotted a fan over there. I was looking for one earlier, and now it's in clear vision right over there. But if I need it, I can always grab it. Yes, and she's here, and I'm going on a few vacations. Yes, I am. I'm in Italy next month, so I'm really looking forward to that. So first time in Venice. So yeah, Venice, Sam. So first time in Venice, and I honestly cannot wait. Christine's also saying she's just received this collection along with a vintage circus yesterday, so that's a vintage carnival. That is absolutely, I think, this year so far my favourite collection. I love the vintage carnival, and she's very excited. How many paper pads did you get, Christine? I bet you got a few. And Tara's in. Tara Baldwin is saying hello all, hope you're all well. And Rachel's saying you always look beautiful, Debs. Oh, Rach, thank you very much. You're so kind. Honestly, you're all very, very kind. Right, let's get started, because what I want to do, I have wrote myself some instructions as well, so I can make sure that I can keep myself in check. So I've took a piece. Let's start off with that beautiful die that we're going to use to start off with, because it really is a stunning one. So I'm just going to reach over, pick that up. So this is the one. Now, what it has is a big outside cutting edge, which is brilliant. So we can use that one to cut it out. And we are going to cut it out, and we're going to place that over here. Now, I am using the, you can see there, it's got a shimmer on it, look at that. And it's our double-sided, I think it's the Hint of Gold, and it's our Accenture Repel. So I've trimmed this just to allow me to put this on top, and then we're going to use the feather die in between as well. So I'm going to use those ones, and I'm going to grab myself some low-tack tape, because I am going to try and hold this in place while it's going through. So we're going to pop that in, and then all I'm looking for is to get a similar amount of space around the side. So that looks good. Going to hold that there. I'm going to put one piece across the top, and then we're going to put another piece across the bottom just to hold that into place. Oh, I didn't show you any samples. Let's do that later. We'll do that later. We'll get on with our demo. Let's pop that to the side. Right, let's bring in my plates. It's just the plates for your normal thin metal dies, so your base cutting plate, got our plastic shim, magnetic, and your top cutting plate as well. So we're going to sandwich them onto there and run them through our Gemini. I don't know if anyone's seen my show yesterday. I broke the Gemini live on air. I mean, if anyone was going to do it, it would be me, wouldn't it? So, yeah, be careful is the word with your plates, because I actually put my plates through. It wasn't my fault, in all fairness. I mean, be good for the bloopers. But what had happened is, I think it was, there must have been something sticky on the magnetic shim, and it stuck to the white plate. A bit like that, actually. Look, that one's stuck. Look. It's there, look, that had stuck on it. You know what I think that is, Sam? I think that's, yeah, I can hear it, static. I think it was stuck to the base. So when I put an embossing folder through, I put my embossing folder through there, and I put that one on top, and I run it through. But it had that on the bottom of the plate, and it went in the rollers. Went round the, it literally went round the rollers, Sam. I did it live on air, broke the machine. That was, yeah, it was on last night's show with Nicola. It had to be Nicola's last show that I did with Nicola, didn't it? Yeah, I did. I was quite proud of myself. It's all right, though. We have a Gemini John in the warehouse, so it's gone to him, and he will fix it. Actually, Liam might have fixed it. He said he thinks he could get them out, because you could see them. When you looked at the back, I showed everybody, you could see the plate that had gone inside and wrapped itself around the rollers. Whoops. But it will be fine. So I've got another new machine, but it's made me really conscious now of checking all my plates and making sure we don't put too many in at once. Right, so what I'm doing here, this is a very intricate die. I'm just very gently easing those pieces off, and then just any of the parts that are in here. But where's my pokey tool? Die brush would be good for this, but we're just going to take out those last bits. I mean, it's such an intricate die, but it's absolutely stunning. And I've just realised I've cut this, but at home what I did, although it doesn't really matter, I actually did the inking beforehand, because then you don't waste too much with it going through, but it's absolutely fine. So we're going to just place it on. Got one more bit there. There we go. Yep, we've got all those pieces. So those, I'll clear that one out later. I won't sit and do that now, but let's pop all them pieces in the bin and do some inking. Now, I wanted to use the shiny because I like a pearlized card, but I like it because when you do something like this, it makes it look glossy. So I'm going to bring in 3 colours here. So I've got my crushed velvet, my honey pot, and Oasis. And we're going to be doing these colours. So you think of this, you'd want to do it sort of more blue, but actually I want to get a bit of the sort of the green and the blue together, which is why I've used these 2 colours. And just to blend it together, I'm going to use my daubers. I've put them down somewhere safe. Here they are. And then let's grab those out. So we'll have a purple one for the purple, honey pot, that one, and let's do, not really got a blue one, we'll have that one. Pop those in, and then I'm running out of room. Let's pop that over there. Actually, I can put that out. We're not doing any more die cutting, so I can just put things on top of my machine as well. Does anyone do that at home? Does anyone use their Gemini just to stack loads of things? I'm always doing that. Christine's replied back. She's saying that she has 4 of each at the moment, but she's thinking of getting more. I'm not surprised. That is a beautiful pad. Is it Tommy Nianelli? Doreen, there you go. Doreen Pete on YouTube. She said, hello Debbie from the Netherlands, with a lot of sun here. We've got a lot of sun here as well. And just before we come on air, I must thank our Diane, who's in our finance office. I don't know if you know this, Sam, have you checked your emails? Apparently there's ice cream. She's bought us all ice cream today that Christina's got in the freezer. So when we cut off air, we can have an ice cream. I don't know what they are, but I love ice cream. If anyone knows anything about me, I love ice cream. So I can't wait for that. There's a Solero. Oh, berry ones. Yes, they're nice. Yeah, they are a thing, Sam. Yeah, they're berry Soleros and tropical Soleros. Yes, I'm the Solero girl. And can I tell you as well, there's only 99 calories in a Solero. I mean, if ever you wanted a ice cream that didn't have a lot of calories, that's the one for you. Stephanie's in today, Sam Morning, Debbie, and Stephen Nichols in. To be honest, it's easy done. Oh, have you done it with the plates as well, Stephen? I hope not. It's I think it can be they can be taken out, but it was proven to be difficult yesterday. And I thought if anyone was going to do it, it would be me, wouldn't it? Right, so we're just going to do some inking. Now, I am using a pigment ink, and if I'd set it up right, I could have bought my heat tool, but I haven't. So we're just going to use this to put a little bit of purple in the middle here. So I'm just going to pop that in. So this might take a little bit more to dry. That's my only thinking. So I should have really bought my, what's it called now? Oh, I can't think of the word. Embossing powder and heat tool, but I'm not going to worry too much. Now, when you are blending like this, when you blend the two colours together, I like to just dab in, because then that will help to blend those two colours, but just to give that difference in there, which looks beautiful. Put a little bit more on there. There we go. And then we're going to use the green. So bring in, oh, not the green, sorry, the blue. But I am going to tie it in with the yellow as well. So that's going to give me a slightly greener, bluer colour. So can you see how it's going green here? But we're then just going to take it wider into blue. But the yellow is helping to create that beautiful effect. And then I'm going to go back in with the yellow just to brighten that bit up a little bit. And then we can start using the blue more, which will then just start having a little bit more colour of blue coming round. And I'm only doing this up to the white section, so I'm not going to go to the white, just pop in this on here, creating that beautiful blue colour. And I wanted to keep this quite light because we're actually going to be making a shaker card. Actually, we're not making a card at all, we're making a box. So we're making a shaker box, and I just thought this would be a really nice way of keeping it light and showing some of the shaker elements that I've got to go on the inside. And there we go, so as simple as that. So it's just creating, if you wanted to at this point, and actually let me bring some black cards so you can see that. There we go, look at that. How beautiful does that look? And actually, I want to put a bit more purple. Now I can see that. I'm going to put a bit more purple just into there. Let me pop that back. Yeah, that's much better. So we've got our die cut done. I am just going to grab myself a wipe and just wipe the ink away. Otherwise, we're going to get very messy. So pop that to the side and just clear our workings away. I'm trying to keep an eye on everything so I can interact with you as we go along. Trisha is saying, Debbie, I'm the same. I put things on my Gemini. I know. It's just like another platform, isn't it? Mine gets really built up, and then all of a sudden I'll hear a big crash because I've built it all up and then I've put my plates on top, and then it's just goes over and then crash on the floor, and I'm like, and that happens every time. Ruth is saying, Debbie, Madagascan vanilla ice cream and mango and passion fruit ice cream. Excuse me, Ruth, where do I get one of these lollies from? That sounds amazing. Stephen is saying, loving the colours, at least you don't have to worry about the lines. Yeah, absolutely not, Stephen. So yesterday was it yesterday? I'm losing track of days. I think it was. Sam, did we do one yesterday? Did we do or was it the day before? I'm losing track of days. I think we did do a show yesterday with the illustrator. Yeah. Wow, I think it was yesterday. I'm not sure now. They all do blur into one, don't they? We're just crafting constantly. We don't know where our days are. Yes, and Stephen was saying he goes out of the line sometimes when he's colouring in. So yes, when you're doing this, Stephen, you don't have to worry about going out of the lines. Carol is saying, that's really pretty. I didn't realise that you could ink the pearl card. I'll be trying that tonight. It's beautiful. And oh, Gemini 2 is buried under things at the moment. I need to unearth it, Rachel's saying. Nope, it was Tuesday, Rachel's saying. Rachel's keeping me in check. I should know. Rachel would know. It was Tuesday. What's the day today? Thursday? It is Thursday, yes, so it was Tuesday, we did the illustrator, and then today we're doing this one. And tomorrow as well, I've got another one tomorrow. Oh, now here's the thing. Tomorrow was going to be a craft vault, but they realised that we haven't got the people in the building to do a craft vault with. So we're not doing a craft vault anymore, and we're doing another craft together. So you've got me again tomorrow. I hope it's not too much for you, 3 times in a week doing this craft together, but I do absolutely love them. And I'm thinking of what to do. And I was thinking, you know how I love my pigment ink pads? I was thinking, I mean, I know I'm using them now, but to do a sort of whole session on pigment ink pads and what you can do and your triple emboss and single embossing and how you can blend them and do lots of techniques. So if you fancy that, let me know in the comments, because they've told me that I can choose what I want to do tomorrow. And I do love the pigment ink pads, so I'm thinking, why not do something that I really, really love? I mean, I love doing everything, if I'm honest, but pigment ink pads are definitely my thing. I just adore them, and I thought it'd be really good to show you some techniques with them and that. So yeah, let me know if you think that would be a good thing. Right, now we're going to make our box. So let's, I've grabbed 2 pieces of black cardstock, because I think black cardstock really complements the actual design. And what we are going to do is use our guillotine. So let's bring in the guillotine, and we're going to trim this to size. So the first piece of black card is going to be for my box base. And we're going to trim this to 9 3/4 by 8 1/4. So let's pop that in there. So 9 3/4, and that's going to be to 8 1/4, which 8 1/4 is my, that is what the cardstock is. And then the next one is our box lid, and I'm going to do this to 8 1/2. There we go, 8 1/2. And we're going to trim this one to 7 inches. There we go. Just there. That's fine. So I'm going to pop that to the side. Actually, while I've got this out, I'm going to trim some other bits, because then we can get on with the actual crafting. So this is a piece of that turquoise out of the textured linen cardstock, and I want to trim this piece to 6 3/4. So we're going to go 6 3/4, and I'm going to trim this to 5 1/4. So 5 1/4. Right, so we've got that bit done, and I don't think we need to cut anything else, so that's it. Right, so let's pop my guillotine away and bring in our scoreboard. So I've got 2 pieces of card. The bigger piece of card is the box base, and the smaller piece is the box lid. So on this one, we've got to use the box lid to start with. On your scoreboard, make sure this says box lid at the base there. So I'm going to butt my card up to this piece. If I bring it up, you can just about see that on the edge here. It's moulded in, so it's not very clear, but the reason it's moulded in is because it will then never wear off. So, but you can see there, box lid on there. And then on the opposite side, we've got box base. And I'll show you how I do my box base so I don't forget, because I am terrible for making it on the same side. So I'm going to bring in our tool. It's funny, isn't it? Because our box maker, or our scoring board, always has a built-in scoring tool in the top. Yet I always get another one, which is why we never lose them, because they're always still in there. But I suppose that's not a bad thing. Right, I'm going to score this in, and we're just going to score at 3/4 of an inch. So it's 3/4 of an inch, and I always score twice all the way round. Because I think scoring once, then scoring again, what that does is make sure that your fibres of your card are stretched out really well, so you get no cracking when you fold them. So 3/4 of an inch on that one. And then on your box base, I turn my board round, because my habit is to always butt my card up to the left-hand side. So if I don't remember to turn my board round, I then end up making exactly the same size. And the reason you do it on the opposite side is because this little increment here to the first line is wider than what this side is, and that's because it makes it slightly bigger, the lid, to what your base is, so it means that they'll fit on top of each other. Now with this one, this is your 9 3/4 by 8 1/4, and we're going to score this on 1 1/4. So 1 1/4 inch, because I want my lid to be shorter than my actual box, so we can see the box design at the base. So just turning that round, 1 1/4. Again, twice scoring, and then 1 1/4. And then my biggest tip, which I give all the time, when you are folding your lines, most people tend to fold the shorter area over. I never do that because you get a wave in there. So my biggest tip is to turn the biggest card piece and fold it over the top, because by doing that, you get a real straight edge. Look at that straight edge and bring it that way. There we go. You get a complete straight edge. Where if you actually bend this over, because you're not straightening the whole surface, you get a wibbly wobbly line, and you don't want a wibbly wobbly line. So yeah, the biggest part over the top and all the way round. That way you get really lovely straight edges for your box, like so. And then we're going to do the same on this one, even more important on this one because we've only got a 3/4 inch. Just turn it over onto the widest part, and that way you keep those edges really straight. So yeah, I have sometimes good tips, Sam. I sometimes, you know, I don't know how, but I do sometimes have them. I know, see, how you find, I'm always telling that tip. I'm just going to check and see if anyone's saying, no, we don't want to see ink pads tomorrow. Let's have a look. Trudy's saying, oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that with the ink pads. And Amali is saying, yes, I would love a technique class on pigment ink pads. And Amali's also saying, oh, this box is going to be very pretty. Yes, it absolutely is. Right, so with your, I'm going to try, actually I just use my big scissors. I'm going to use my little snips, but we can use them. When I am creating a box, I always go in on the edge and just snip into a little triangle and then the edge. It helps when you're putting your box together because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room, and also you don't waste too much glue because it doesn't matter having a really big edge, and you don't need a lot of glue to stick it down then. So just going around all the edges like so. There. And that one. And, oh, we've done that one now, so let's bring in this one. We're going to do the same. PB Brew is saying, Debbie, since pigment pads are your favourite and all of us experience and new will benefit, it sounds awesome. Oh, I love that. And Pat is saying, hi Debbie, you look lovely today, a little late to the show. Pat, it doesn't matter, as long as you're joining us, how nice. I love these, I feel like I'm having a little get together with everyone in the studio. It's really quiet. Once they're finished next door, everyone then goes off for lunch, and it's just really quiet, which is lovely. Not that I'm saying our team is loud, but in fact, I mean, the funny thing about that, and Sam would probably agree, I'm probably the loudest there is. I'm always the one, comes in, like, breeze low. Sarah's quite loud. Sarah's very loud, yeah. We always know when Sarah's down. But yes, I don't know whether that's from being from down south. I do have a bit of a loud roar sometimes. Right, let's pop all those bits in the bin, and now we're going to do something else. We're going to bring in our paper trimmer. Thank you, Sam. We're going to bring in our paper trimmer because what I want to do, I want to create a, I'm seeing half an hour's gone, my goodness. I want to bring in a box where you can see through it. I want to create the shaker card, but looking through. So to do that, I've got some acetate. We've got our piece here, and I want to put this onto my box like so. So we want to literally pop this on. Actually, I'm not sure if it's going to work that way. I might need to trim that down a little bit. So what I am going to do is bring my guillotine in, and we're just going to trim that a little bit at the edges. So just at the side there and at the other side, because I want that to fit that snugly inside my box. So I'm not sure what I did on those measurements there, but we will make it work. So I'm just making sure yes, that we've got all that going around. So what I am going to do, I'm going to roughly place that onto here like so. And then I'm going to use my pen. I have my pen somewhere. Where is it? Here it is, right on my book. So let me just, so when you've got that where you want it, I'm going to place my pen there, and then I'm going to just use the edges. Can you see, just making a little notch there. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a case of making sure we pop these where we need them to be. And I'm doing this, you'll notice, on the inside because I want my design to be on the inside. So, and that one is just not completely, so I'm going to do a little notch there so we can join that up. Doesn't have to be perfect. So all I want is to find that piece where then we can put that through our trimmer. So I'm going to take this one, pop that on there. I can sort of roughly see where that is, and it looks like it's just on the 3 centimetres. Oh, let me put that down a bit. So just on that 3 centimetres, going to pop that down there. So bringing that across there. So my little end piece is just on there. And then I can sort of see, and actually if you look through, you can see it's not quite on there, so I'm going to bring that there. You'll be able to see your line through this piece. So now I know my line is where I need it to be. I can then just run that down. I can check to see where that is on there, onto that piece. That's perfect. And then we can do exactly the same. So again, look for where your line is. Bring that in. There we go, just there. And then line your trimmer up again, making sure I've gone down to that piece and that one. So it's just a case of keep lining that up to get that beautiful aperture. That's perfect. And then you can, and you line, there's a little line, if no one's got a paper trimmer, you've got a little line on here, which you then line up with where you want it trimmed to. So again, making sure we've trimmed to the bottom there. And then we've got our last one. And just making sure, there we go, perfect. And that will then just trim that section out. So that gives us our whole aperture, and now I know that that's perfect to fit in. Let me put that to the side. When we place that one there, when we place that over the top, you can see we've got then our perfect display underneath. Now the other thing I want to do is this piece here we've cut to size. I'm going to just place that there like so, and then I'm going to hold that in place with just a tiny little bit of tape. So we're going to put a piece on that side, piece on the other side like so. Then turn that one over, and then you'll be able to see exactly where your line is there. So I'm just going to draw around here like so, and we're going to trim that out. So nice and easy. So that's the best way for me to get just that inside piece that we can, or should I say frame. So let's bring our trimmer in again. I do love the trimmer. It's becoming my favourite tool to use because it is just so simple, especially when you can line those lines up. So just to the top, and it's a case of just keep going where those lines are. And then the other two. So these are, for me, the quickest way that you can create your frames with. If you've got nesting dies, some of your nesting dies, you might think, well, actually, I can be creative with our nesting dies. So you can absolutely do that. So there we go. Let's take in those ones out. So now we have a frame, that's that way, that's going to fit perfectly around our edge. So nice and easy to do. So now we've got our box done, let's make our shaker. So we've got plenty of time to make the shaker. I'll just check if anyone else is asking anything. Yes, so Laquita is saying that the black really makes this pop. Yeah, it does. Black works really well, and with the papers. Linda Umstead is in, and she's saying, hi from Maryland, everyone. I have been here eating breakfast. So not much watching, so just watching, not commenting. Linda, enjoy your breakfast. What have you got anything nice? Sarah can beat you when she starts with her say what? Yeah, she absolutely can, definitely. Karen is saying she loves these classes. Oh, I'm so pleased. And Carol was saying yes, pigment would be a keeper's show, which is absolutely brilliant. And Colleen is saying, love how you made this frame, Debbie. Yeah, I just like to simplify things. I think sometimes we all have these ideas of what we want to do, but we just never quite know how to put them into effect. And actually the paper trimmer, I'm pretty sure if we haven't got our paper trimmer, there'll definitely be a Violet Studio paper trimmer on the website, because I know we were selling that the other day. So but it is a brilliant paper trimmer. I could not be without it. So what I am going to do to make my shaker card, I'm actually going to add some dots to this. So I'm just going to bring in fact, I've got a piece here that I wasn't using. So they're on the website, so you can, if you want to, head to the website and you can get a paper trimmer. Oh, there's a deal with the essential tools. You absolutely want that. Is that the toolkit with our pokey tool and things? Is that what it is? Oh, amazing. Oh, that's a really good one. Ah, amazing. Love that. $19.99. What, paper trimmer and essential tools? Yes, please. You absolutely want the paper trimmer. So yeah, if you haven't got one, it's brilliant, especially when you want to do really quick mats and layers, gutting out your cardstocks, just a really cool way. So all I'm doing is going with my dots up all of these, the sort of spokes of the feather. What would you call it? A strand of feather? Don't know what you'll call them. They're not called spokes, that's for sure. Do like making up my own little names. Spokes of the feather. Yes, no, that's not right. The quills, fluffs of a feather. That'll do. Oh look, it's even made a nice thing on there just because the ink hasn't dried completely. Right, so we're going to put this, if I can find it. And actually the easiest thing to be would put the black card underneath, because then we can see it. There we go. So I'm just going to line that up on the edge. Doesn't matter if it's not perfect, because it's very forgiving, the acetate, because you can just trim it. And then I am going to place that back on there, and again, using my scoring tool, it is something I always do, really burnish that down, because if you burnish it down, it means that it just won't come apart. So I'm just going to make sure all those little pieces are really burnished well down. And then we're just going to give that a trim. So let's bring in Guillotine in. There we go. And I'm also going to keep what the size is. So that is, let me pop that there. We're slightly off on that side, but it's, so I think 4 3/4. Oh, don't want to go into there. There we go. Oh, didn't want to cut that, did it? 4 3. Did I say 5 3/4? No, 4 3/4 by 6.5. So let's do 6.5 by 4 3/4. There we go. So what that's doing is giving me another piece that I can have underneath, so exactly the same size. I'll pop them on there so I can see them, and place that over there. Then we're going to make our shaker card. So the first thing I want to do is use our shaker foam. So let's use this to go around all the edges. So just like so. There we go. Let's just, where's my little snips? Let's trim that off. Because this is going to be like an open, not an open shaker card, but it's open to look through. So this is why I wanted to do it sort of, it's almost like a secret compartment where your shakers go. But it means we can still put it into the lid. So just on there. And what you absolutely need to do when you're making anything shaker, so whether it be a card, a bag, a box, you make sure that these touch at the edges and there's no gaps, because that's when your shakers will fall out. So, and you want to make sure they're really well packed in there. So even when you get to the edge, I always sort of do a slant and then push that in, because that way you know that there won't be any gaps. Right, so we've got that in. Then I'm going to take my tape away. Now I do always do this, a lot of people don't, they do it afterwards, but so many times I've done this and afterwards and then knocked it or my hand stuck on it and then all the sequins go everywhere. So I always think do that first, then it's ready to be done, and as soon as you put your shakers in, you can just seal it. So I've just got these beautiful ones here. These are starlight waves, which were from when we did some shakers before. So I'm going to pop some in there. Just going to make sure we even these out. And I've used this colour because I thought these were nice and close to like the peacock's colour. So, and then if you just get like the odd little one, just bring that away from there because we don't want that to interfere with any of the tape around the outside. And then all we're going to do is place that one over the top like so. There we go. And then once you've got it, just very gently push down because some of these might be the other way and flick. So all I'm going to then do is again take my scoring tool and really burnish that in. And that way it just won't come apart at all. And you won't lose any of those shakers. That is completely encapsulated in there. So a really nice way to do your actual shaker design. Looks really cool, doesn't it? And you could use that now on anything that you've put an aperture through. So what we're going to do is, and let's bring those in. This is our box base. So what I've done is I've already created some of our cardstock. So I've done this one here because I want to actually put this inside the box. So when you open the box, it still looks lovely. So even though this is what we've got in our box, you can then, you've got that on the inside, you still put your gift in there and open it up and you've still got that beautiful picture as well. So we're going to pop that on the inside, but these are going to go around the outside, which will be up like this. So I'm going to turn these over and then we can stick these onto our front there. So I'm just going to use our normal tape pen. I've used the B side as it was of these, so absolutely beautiful papers. So let's just place those right in the middle there. That's while I'm sticking these, I'll just see if anyone else is on. So Ash Camber, she's saying, Debbie, a quick question. Yesterday you were using a stamping station with magnetic base. How did you make the paper stick to the base before stamping so paper doesn't move? I bought the base, but it has magnets to hold the paper, which gets in the way. So that is, we have two different, so Ash, we have two different stamping platforms. One is the stamping platform with the magnets, which is this one here. So I've got it with me. That's this one. And yeah, you've got the magnets on that one. Now, as long as your magnets aren't in these sort of pieces, you put them wherever where you want them to be, and they hold them in place, then you stamp down. So it's a great, this was my favourite stamping platform. And then we brought in a new one at BFTA last year. Maybe Sam could check. I'm not sure if we've got any in stock because every time we get them in, they sell out. And it's our stencil and stamping base platform. I think that's what it's called. And I think we're out of stock of them, but that one has a sticky mat, so no magnets. It's out of stock. Yeah, unfortunately they're out of stock, but please keep an eye when they next come in, because I would say to anyone, the stamping platform with the magnets is brilliant because you wouldn't know any different, and it is amazing. But when you use the stamping platform that has the sticky base, that is incredible. It's an absolutely game changer. We do have the magnetic base that's on offer at the moment. Is that what it is? What's the price of that, Sam? $9.99? Wow, it's half price. So the magnet one is half price at the moment, but I would also wait for the stamping platform with the sticky base. Both have got a place, which are absolutely fine. But so the other thing is as well, what I used to do is if I used to have tiny little stamps that I wanted to stamp onto, or small amounts of paper, you can actually use your dotty tape pen to put your dotty tape pen on that little bit on the back, and that will hold it in place as well. And then you don't have to use your magnets. So there are ways of doing that. Pat is saying, I'm getting mesmerised by what you are doing and loving all the little tips. I'm really enjoying this class very much. Oh, thank you, Pat. I really appreciate that. And Ash is saying, I bought the paper trimmer yesterday in the deals. Yeah, it's a brilliant deal. And Colin's saying, wow, I'm loving this, Debbie. Ash is saying, beautiful, love doing shakers. And Colin's saying, I have both the stamping platforms and I love using them both. Absolutely, yeah, they're just gorgeous to use. So yeah, either one are good. And there are ways to get around it. So if you want a stickier base, just put a little bit of glue on the back, and if you want to use the magnets, use the magnets. But yeah, they're absolutely brilliant. Right, so we're going to place that on the inside there, like so. And then all we're going to do is stick our side pieces together. So, and this is what I was saying, by making these smaller, you don't use as much glue. And also it does give you that little bit of wiggle room, which I really love, and I'll show you what I mean. Because we've cut that little triangle into this base bit, it means when you put them together, I can sort of wiggle that a bit more, where if that was one block piece, that would go to this ridge and it wouldn't allow me to move that. So by having that little bit of movement, I can really manipulate that into going exactly where I need that to go. Give that a rub, because when you rub our tape pens, it heats the glue up and makes them even more sticky. So, and by doing that, they're never going to come apart. So it's really super strong glue. And if you really want a box to hold and you've got something a bit more heavy in it, just put some, do it with red liner tape. Red liner tape you can't beat because it's just super strong and sticky. So last one there, so you can see we've got our gorgeous little box. So let's put our lid together. So we've got our front piece that we've made, that frame, and actually I think we could probably pop the frame on the other way. Yep. And I'm just going to use again our tape pen to go round. In fact, I'm going to use our normal tape pen round the edges here. Is that, oh yeah, it is. I didn't think that was wide enough then, but actually I think it is just wide enough to pop on. So running that one down, and then last bit across there. So that's going to go into that piece. And if it sticks and you want to have a bit more movability, just use your tacky glue on there to pop that onto. And then what we need to do is, I'm actually just going to use our tape pens and just make sure I really rub that down. But I'm going to put our tape pen all the way round onto this bit, because this is where my shaker card is going to go. So just running that all the way down and across there. And then let's pop this onto here. Also, apparently, Daisy has just sent a message. So, Daisy, give me a minute and I will have a look. So, there we go. So, that's completely in line. Let me just have a look. We've got... So Ash is saying, hang on, there we go. Daisy's saying, Debbie has quickly become my favourite crafting coach. Ah, Daisy, I love that. Don't tell the other guys. Don't tell them. I won't tell no one. Oh, that's made my day, Daisy. That's such a lovely thing to say. Do you know what? My mum was a crafter, and she just loved all things crafting. And I remember as a little girl doing decoupage onto, she used to buy really cheap wall tiles, like little white wall tiles, and she used to buy all these scraps and little pictures, and she'd buy loads of them, and then we'd sit there and cut them all up, fussy cut them all up and make little decoupage and put them on the tiles, and then she would hang a ribbon on the back and stick them on our walls. So that was my first memory of making sort of paper crafting things, and I used to absolutely absolutely love it. It was just one of those things we used to do together. So I get my sort of crafting knowledge and know-how and love from my mum, no question about that. But when I joined Crafters Companion, and I've been with Sarah now, I think this is my 14th year, so a long, long time, been employed for 9 years this year. I just knew that was me. It was through and through me. Everything that Sarah stood for in crafting, how she just loved crafting, everything that comes together. So to get the opportunity to sort of teach crafting like we do on TV has just been something that's been something I've really, really enjoyed. So to hear your comments, Daisy, saying that I'm your favourite coach, I really love that, because, and all the guys, we are so close and we all love each other and we learn so much from each other as well. I'm always learning things from Debbie and Craig when they're on, things that I didn't even know, and sometimes I think, how did I not know that? How have I not done that before? But yeah, that's the great thing about the crafting community. We learn, don't we, so much from each other. But I honestly really appreciate that comment. That means the world to me, and you've absolutely made my day. And do you know what else is going to make my day in a minute? Not because I want to leave, but we've only got about 9 minutes left, and all I've been thinking this last hour is that I can have an ice cream. So anyone that's just joined us, I had an email just before saying that Diane had bought us all ice creams, and they're in the freezer. So I can't wait to have an ice cream. In fact, it's a day special today. Sam, what's today's special? Do we know? Because I've got today's special. I've got a feeling it might be pasta. All I smell is garlic. I've been smelling garlic really strongly in the studio. So I think whatever we've got today is pasta. So I'm looking forward to my dinner, and then I'm going to have a nice ice cream afterwards. And I've still got a bit of a break because Sarah's doing the next show, and then I'll be back at 5 p.m. To carry on the May Day madness, because we've got May Day madness deals today, which are incredible. So just going around all of these sides, giving that a little bit of wiggle. Oh yeah, I've deleted my email about the special as well, Sam. I'm the same. I'm pretty sure it was pasta, so it's normally like a chicken pasta or something. Look how straight my sides are, and that's because of that little tip of turning them over. But there we go, there's our box. Let's pop that onto the top there. Should just, don't tell me it doesn't fit, it should fit. I did do all my measurements, but we'll squeeze it on. There we go. There we go, and there we go. There is our beautiful box, our shaker box, which has got that lovely element. And obviously, when you have a bit more time, you would put a sentiment on there, a little bow on there, which would just work really well. But I absolutely love that. I love box making. It's one of my favourite things to do. And just because we've got a few more minutes, I am going to show you some samples. Stephen is saying, loving your show, Debbie Fisher. Crafters Companion is trying to sort... I'm loving your show, Debbie Fisher, trying to sort front room out. Stephen, where do you craft? Do you craft in your front room? Is that what you're trying to sort out? Stephanie's saying, loving the colours of this box. I'm on the next show as well, says Rachel. She's a busy girl today. Rachel's very busy. And Ruth is saying, earlier in the month, I had my ice cream before dinner. Do you know what? That's just reminded me, Ruth, said Rachel, I think. Ruth, when my son was little, he would never eat his dinner. So I'm talking a toddler when he was first eating, and he loved his food, but he would never eat his dinner until he'd had his dessert. So, and my mum used to say to me, you can't give him his dessert before dinner. And I'm like, why? Because he would eat his dinner afterwards. So for years, my son had his dessert before he had his dinner, because it was the only way he'd eat his dinner. I think when your kids are younger, when you're weaning, you have everything ready, don't you? So you have that, like you used to have a little pot of fromage frais or a jelly or custard or something like that. So you'd have it all, and because he'd seen it, I think that he just knew he would have a dessert. So he used to, and even if it wasn't there, he'd point to the fridge because he'd want me to get his dessert first. So how fun is that? It's just reminding me, that is. Ash is saying, that's beautiful. I love it. Can I just take a moment to thank everybody for all their messages today? It's been really busy. Thank you, Rachel, for sending them all through. I love that you're joining us on these craft togethers, because they are just a bit more personal, aren't they? And actually, I've not sweated my socks off because it is really hot in here, and actually I've just really enjoyed the hour and it's gone really quickly. And hopefully we've done that in a more craft along style, so you can craft along together. And I will put that to the team about doing pigment ink pads tomorrow, so which would be fabulous to do because I absolutely love them. And we'll just talk about all things pigment ink pads, which I'll just be in my element. Right, here's some of the samples I didn't show earlier, but just beautiful, mates. I love that. And in fact, that looks like it's been quilled, doesn't it? How absolutely gorgeous does that look? Absolutely beautiful. Marie Jones has done that one for us. We've got one here, which is from our Jan Marshall. She's created that gorgeous design. These are the ones I was telling you about, which have those 3 different designs. How utterly amazing does that look? Absolutely gorgeous. There's that feather done in a different way. Oh, in fact, it's a little bit different. Look at this. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. It looks like it's got flickers of like gold in it. I think shimmer spray's been put over the top of that. Look at that. Oh, I love that. It's beautiful. Love this one as well. So if you love your ink pads, they're definitely going to be used for these. That absolutely looks like the towel's been quilled. I absolutely love that. Different sort of card there that we've got from Sean Peacock. This is your collection. Sean Peacock's made this one. She's got the right name, hasn't she? Another one by Sean as well. I bet she absolutely enjoyed making these with her surname as well, being Peacock. Love that one. That is so beautiful. Jan Marshall's done that one for us. Another one similar, but a bigger one from our Marie. And last one, I mean, that is our Lily Fletcher's one, and that looks absolutely stunning. I think it definitely is another shaker card there. I think these definitely lend themselves to making shaker cards, don't they? Right, let's just have one more check and see who else is in. So Ash is saying beautiful, love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rach, for such an amazing show, sending all your makes in. Thank you everyone that commented. I've loved this. I've made a real mess, but who minds? It's only me, isn't it? And I've got and I'm back on at 5 o'clock tonight, so try not to sell me out of everything because I want Sarah to save me some of the deals because it's our May Day deals today. So once we've got those, I'll be in later on to show you those with our Ben back in. It's going to be really exciting, but thank you for joining me today. Much love to you all, and bye for now. Bye.